Welcome, my friends, to another journey in wisdom and self-reflection. Today, we are going to explore something vital to our happiness, our success, and even our sense of peace in this chaotic world. We will be discussing the art of intention, acting with clear purpose and mindfulness, ensuring that each decision we make is aligned with our values. So often in life, we go through the motions without stopping to ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Is this truly aligned with my deeper values? When we act without intention, without purpose, we allow the world to dictate our path. But when we act with intention, when we embrace mindfulness, we reclaim control over our lives. Every action becomes meaningful. Every decision, a deliberate step toward our ultimate goals. I'm not here to preach perfection. I, too, have struggled with this. I have made mistakes. I have wandered aimlessly. But every time I returned to acting with intention, my path became clearer. And today, I'll share my experiences and some timeless lessons to help you master this art in your own life. Let me tell you a story. Imagine an archer standing in a vast field. He has a bow in hand, a quiver full of arrows, and a target far off in the distance. His aim is to hit the bullseye. He draws back his bow, takes a deep breath, and releases the arrow. But instead of watching the arrow fly toward the target, he quickly grabs another arrow, and then another, firing them off without ever focusing on the flight of the first one. What do you think will happen? Will he hit the bullseye? The chances are slim. Not because the archer lacks skill, but because he lacks focus and intention. This archer represents many of us in life. We're so quick to fire off actions, to make decisions, to say yes to commitments, to react without thinking, that we rarely stop to ask if we're truly aiming at the right target. We rarely consider if our actions are aligned with our values, with our greater purpose. The truth is, when you act without intention, your efforts are scattered, and your energy is wasted. You might be busy, but are you truly moving forward? Are you getting closer to your goals, or just filling your days with empty actions? The first step in mastering the art of intention is defining your target. What is it that you truly want in life? What are your values? What are your goals? Until you have a clear vision of what you're aiming for, every action will feel aimless. This is where mindfulness comes in. Take time to reflect on what matters most to you. Is it family? Success in your career? Personal growth? Contribution to your community? Whatever it is, get specific. Because once you know your target, every action can be directed toward hitting that bullseye. I've learned this the hard way. There was a time in my life when I was constantly busy, constantly striving, but I didn't really know what I was striving for. I was acting, yes, but without a clear purpose. It wasn't until I paused and asked myself what I truly wanted that things began to change. I started living with intention. Let me share another story, one about a farmer. This farmer owned a large piece of land, and he had all the tools and resources needed to grow crops. But instead of carefully planning what to plant and where, he simply scattered seeds across the field randomly, not paying attention to the soil, the seasons, or the needs of each crop. When harvest time came, he found himself with a meager yield. Some crops grew well, but others withered away. His lack of intention led to a poor harvest. In contrast, a wise farmer carefully plans his crops. He understands the soil, the seasons, and the right conditions for each plant to thrive. He doesn't plant randomly. Instead, every seed is placed with purpose, and the result is a bountiful harvest. In life, we are all farmers, planting the seeds of our future. Each action is a seed. If you scatter your actions aimlessly, without thought or care, the harvest will be disappointing. But if you act deliberately, with a clear purpose in mind, you will reap the rewards. This doesn't mean that every decision must be monumental. Small, deliberate actions can accumulate into something great over time. But the key is that these actions must be intentional. Are they moving you towards your goals, or are they simply filling your time? When I began to live with more intention, I realized that many of the things I was doing were distractions. They weren't aligned with my values or my goals. They were like seeds scattered in poor soil, wasted energy. By focusing on deliberate, meaningful actions, my life became more fulfilling, more productive, and more peaceful. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to Students of Wisdom. Here, we explore deep ideas and timeless lessons, all aimed at helping you live a more intentional and purposeful life. If you're finding value in this discussion, consider joining our community. Let's talk about a warrior preparing for battle. Imagine he charges into battle, swinging his sword wildly, without a clear plan or strategy. He's expending energy, he's fighting, but without intention. He quickly becomes exhausted, overwhelmed by the chaos around him. Now, picture another warrior. This one takes a moment before the battle. He centers himself, focuses on his mission, and acts with precision. Every strike is deliberate. Every move is calculated. He conserves his energy, and his actions have purpose. Which warrior do you think will prevail? Life, too, can feel like a battle. We face challenges, we face distractions, we face chaos. And if we charge into life without intention, without a plan, we become exhausted. We become overwhelmed. But when we act with mindfulness, when we approach each challenge with clear purpose, we become like the second warrior. We conserve our energy. We make progress. We find peace amidst the chaos. One of the most important aspects of acting with intention is focus. It's easy to get distracted by the noise around us, by the countless opportunities, demands, and expectations that pull us in different directions. But when you focus on what truly matters, you can cut through that noise. This is where mindfulness practices, such as meditation or simple reflection, can be incredibly helpful. They train your mind to stay focused on the present moment, on the task at hand. When you are mindful, you are less likely to be swayed by distractions. You are more likely to act with purpose. In my own experience, whenever I felt overwhelmed or lost, it was often because I had allowed myself to be pulled in too many directions. But when I returned to mindfulness, when I took the time to focus on what was truly important, I found clarity. I found the strength to move forward with purpose. One final story. There was once a sculptor who was given a massive block of stone. His goal was to create a masterpiece. But the stone was so large, and the task so overwhelming, that he didn't know where to begin. So he started chipping away at the stone randomly, hoping that something beautiful would eventually emerge. After months of work, the stone was a mess, misshapen and incomplete. Another sculptor, facing the same challenge, took a different approach. He spent time envisioning the masterpiece within the stone. He knew exactly what he wanted to create before he picked up his tools. And with each deliberate stroke of his chisel, the masterpiece slowly took shape. The sculptor teaches us that before we act, we must first have a clear vision of what we want to create. Acting with intention means aligning your actions with your vision. If you don't have a vision for your life, your actions will feel random and unfulfilling. But when you have a vision, every action becomes part of the process of sculpting your masterpiece. I encourage you to take some time to reflect on your vision for your life. What do you want to create? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Once you have that vision, every decision you make can be aligned with it. To live with intention is to act with purpose, mindfulness, and focus. It means understanding what you truly value, defining your goals, and making deliberate choices that align with your deeper purpose. It's not always easy. There will be moments when you feel lost, when distractions pull you off course, or when the path forward is unclear. But remember, you are the archer, the farmer, the warrior, and the sculptor of your life. You have the power to choose your target, plant your seeds, focus your energy, and create your masterpiece. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you found value in this discussion, I encourage you to subscribe to Students of Wisdom for more insights and reflections that can help you lead a more intentional and fulfilling life. Until next time, stay mindful, stay focused, and keep living with intention.